when we all have a track record of perhaps not doing what we should do. And that's why I want to talk with Paul Blackburn. Hi, Paul.
Hi, how are you, Brett?
It's great to have you coming to World Internet Summit. Not for the internet knowledge that you have, because I know you do have websites and you do a bit of stuff on the internet, but really for what I think is even more important than the web pages, it's the brain.
Well, that's pretty good to hear you say that, mate. We think that you make the money in your mind first. So, yeah, interesting that you have that view.
Well, let me ask you this. Why is the learning process, the processes of how the brain works so important to you?
Well, I guess part of that goes to my background in as much as I've spent a lot of time working at the Institute of Sport training athletes. And the unique experience I had there is that I was teaching a bunch of people who are immensely talented, and yet what they realised was that the difference between who wins and loses on the day boiled down to the person who had their head in the right spot. So I've got a bit of a background in understanding that for teaching, how it is that you can get your head in the right spot, keep it in the right spot, and make that drive what you do, and make your knowledge become track record instead of just knowledge.
Okay, so what you're really saying is that you can have as much knowledge as you want, but if your brain, your head, is not in the right space, your results are totally different?
Yeah, without knocking the knowledge, mate, because without the knowledge, it's obviously hopeless. So what we're saying is that you've got to get the knowledge, and that's why people are going to come to the summit. In addition to the knowledge, you've got to have the ability to get through your own blockages to using that knowledge. You know, it's pretty common that people will buy a 12-month gym membership, and they'll go the whole first 4 or 5 or 6 weeks, and never see the gym again.
Yeah, very true.
And and yet they'll say to us, geez, Paul, can you explain to me why it is that I stopped going when I was enjoying it, I was getting great results, it was working for me, why did I stop? And that's really the kind of a great description of what it is that we know how to do, is to help people get through that bit about why did I inexplicably, for no reason, just either fail to proceed or stop or whatever it is.
So tell me this. What are some of the blockages that you think that people experience on a very regular basis?
Well, probably the world's most common is the ability to overcome procrastination. So the actual blockage itself would be, what do we do when we're not sure? And for human beings, when we're uncertain, procrastination is the most obvious.
So when we're unsure, that's when procrastination sets in?
Yep. And you can start the day with a lot of willpower and determination, but as soon as there's a bit of uncertainty, as soon as there's a bit of what do I do now, should I do A or B, and we're in an isolated environment where there's nobody really to check with, particularly somebody who's experienced, then lots of people, it's a fairly common thing for people to just go into weighing up A against B for a few hours or a few days or a few months or whatever it is.
Okay, so these sort of challenges, easy to overcome, Paul?
When you know what to do, mate, yeah. I think what most people do is they go back to primary school and they remember a teacher saying, you've got to concentrate or you've got to focus. And they don't really know what that is either. So that really means, I have to furrow my brow a bit, or I have to grin or grunt or work hard or whatever. And for lots of people that means pursuing more information. So they try, when they're trying to decide between A and B and they're uncertain, they'll look for more information, and quite often that's just more confusing.
Yeah, so they get into a little bit of a spiral of not taking action, getting more confused, not taking action, getting even more confused.
Yeah, and meanwhile time passes and we know from our experience that there's a hot spot. So, the people in the